bottom left side of the map in the blue, folks. His name now for Basilisk Gaming. It's Trigger. And in the upper right in the gold for PSISTORM, it's Gumiho. And I swear, casting with Pig is like drinking from a fire hose. And I mean this in the best possible way. But when I cast with him, he pretty much makes like every possible point that I was ever going to make. And he's like, oh, I'm like, well, it means I need to be better at pure play-by-play instead of kind of the merge of analysis and play-by-play I would normally do. Because Pig, his analysis is just so freaking good that there is highly unlikely any analysis I can do that's going to be better than what he does. So need to lean even further into that play-by-play hype color. But for now, folks, we're going to have Probe scout out just a little bit. Again, Trigger, he's going to try to delay things as much as he can. Gumiho opening double gas Reaper play. So quicker factory, of course. Just unlocks the tech a little bit more. Maybe for Widowmine drops, Hellion drops. We're going to have to see what exactly Gumiho has in store for us. But for now, again, quick factory as expected. Now, when we talk about Waterfall, Waterfall is not the shortest map in the pool, but it is the smallest map in the pool. And there are some really scary tank positionings, or tank siege up positions that the Terran can find as we approach the mid-game, as we start to look at this 2.5 base push timing. Of course, if the Protoss player takes the base here, actually, I think it might have been Gumiho, actually, against a Zerg. He sieged up, he put a bunker in his siege tank right here. Oh, no, yeah, that's right. It was against Solar on Waterfall for EPT Korea 140. It didn't work. Unfortunately, it did not work. The Queens just knocked down the Reaper on the high ground that was meant to give vision, and the tank died, and then another tank showed up, and the other tank died. But there is that scary siege position, low ground to high ground. And of course, in the fourth base as well, you kind of wedge yourself right around here. Charge lots can't get on top of it super easily. So the Terran push off of 2 bases can be rather powerful in this setup. But before we're talking about what might have in the future, we got to mention Gumiho did commit to a second Reaper in this setup. He's getting a little bit more aggressive. But the Adept on the bottom side, you got to be a little careful. Adepts can, if Gumiho takes a long enough fight, goes in, goes out, he can take the fight against these Adepts, but he just runs out of there for the moment. Behind this, of course, natural just about done for Gumiho. And we are seeing the disadvantages of what Gumiho has opted to go for. Yes, he's getting his barracks just fine. He's getting tanks on the way. This is an extremely early tank, an extremely early Cyclone. But of course, his natural is very far behind. And Trigger, as he drops Chronos on these Nexi, he should be able to build even bigger than normal, an even bigger than normal economic lead. But for now, Reaper's on the high ground. Cyclone's going to look for a lock-on into something, maybe something that is looking to defend these Reapers, but there's really not going to be much of anything here. And with Shield Battery, the Reapers do not really knock too much down. So Stalker moves on the high ground, and oh well, a little bit further. But there we go. That's going to be the lock-on that he's looking for, but Stalker gets out of range and really doesn't take that much hull damage. It's all on the shields. Trigger's okay with that one, absolutely. So Gumiho, back from whence he came. He's got a tank. He's got a bunch of Marines. Stim on the way very early. Stalker's in the middle of the map as, again, the Reapers are looking for a little bit more. But I mean, for now, Reapers don't kill buildings, so we're gonna be okay with that one as additional gateways get warped in. And there we go, more gateways are on the way. Trigger, he has been playing up with a lot of this style. In fact, this is just kind of the modern Protoss style for the moment, where it's not about the tech. I mean, we did see him go for that double Colossus play against Jason, but it's not about the tech. It's about just getting a lot of stuff out on the map, cutting your gas for quite a while, stay only on that 2 gas, unlike what we saw Riser do to Gumiho, where he got up to 4 gas. He tried to make Storm happen, which it didn't work. You stay on 2 gas, you just get a lot of zealots. You don't need nearly as big of an economy because you're short 12 probes. You're only on 2 gases, and then you flood the first bit of Terran aggression. Maybe if you're worried a little bit, you get some Immortals too, as we are seeing Trigger get here. But Stalkers on the other side, they're going to find tanks in the high ground, and actually, even seeing the tank damage is a big scout here for Trigger. It means he's going to have a better idea of how he needs to set himself up to defend this, because stim, folks, done in 10 seconds. It's the 6-minute stim idea. Combat shield's on the way as well. Trigger, he's gonna have to get himself set up for this, but his charge is only halfway done, so Stalkers trying to delay as they can. One will fall. Back to the third base. They retreat. Only one shield battery here. I think we need to see a stack 1 second pylon, as well as the tanks are going to try to knock that down. But no, Gumiho through the middle of the map. He will go with 3 tanks here. Bunches of Marines. Combat shields, they're done. Stim, it's done. Trigger is not ready to defend this just yet. Mortal runs forward, but now it's tanking more shots. Hardened shields has been popped down. Bio into the natural, but a force field is going to be nice for now. Trigger just buying time. He's going to lose, actually, a shield battery at the natural base. He's going to lose the Immortal, or he's going to lose the Robo, but a second Immortal will be able to pop out here. And now the army supply is really not that far behind. This pylon will die, but still Trigger not so blocked. And there we go. Charge is done. Zealots on top of the tanks here. Bio actually fairly low from the stim earlier. 1 tank goes down, 2 tanks go down, 3rd tank goes down. The concave from Trigger is decent, but actually 2 tanks will remain. Zealots try to get on top of these Marines, getting friendly fire, but look at the retarget there from Gumiho on the left side. He says, I don't want these Zealots. Zealots are already dead. Stim is going to kill them. Instead, I'm going to target the Zealots, or I'm going to target the Stalkers. I'm going to target the Immortals. But now moving forward, 1 tank so damn low, but the Zealots can't get on top, and Stalkers can't either. And Gumiho forced back here. Trigger only up 1 worker. Now, of course, third base from Gumiho only just now getting started, so Trigger can start to build his economy even more. He can start to rally over, but he does not want to be in the middle of the map against this. Not enough gateways. He's only on 6. He does not have the production to deal with what Gumiho has. But he held. He held expensively. It's almost double the resources lost, but he was able to weather that storm. And now we're seeing the next level of tech, or I guess this is the 1 Robo being rebuilt again, but Forge on the way. 2 additional gateways. Gas getting taken at that third base. So he will be able to build Disruptors or Colossus, or however he opts to play this game. Next little bit of Scario is when this +1 is going to be done. So with +1 attack on the way, or actually, excuse me, just about complete, Gumiho's entire army is going to have a massive leg up. And while the Forge is done for Trigger, and even if he chronos it, +1 armor, +1 attack, and there we go, +1 armor, because Storm is eventually going to be on the way. It's going to be a while. It's not going to be enough of a while where it's actually 1-1 done for the Terran, but still. Gumiho has a significant timing advantage for himself right now as we see the second eBay go down. Armory as well, so Gumiho again just transitioning forward. And Trigger has not been able to really build himself the economic lead that he would like. He had a little bit of a dip right there. Stalkers blink backwards, but Trigger's up 1 worker on the Terran. Now, part of this, of course, is the fact that he doesn't have any gas that is natural. But even still, that is not the best feeling if you are going to be Trigger. But look at the surroundings setting. Oh, I guess run by that he's setting up on the north side. But here we go. Gumiho stimming in once again, looking for some value. Zealots trying to get on top of things, but Widowmines are here. They will burrow. So he does not want to make that happen. But now Widowmines maybe a little bit further away. The Zealots looking for those reinforcements. They're not really going to find them. Not just yet. Trigger, though, supply starting to equalize. Concussive shells done in 8 seconds. And Zealots actually doing a great job knocking down the reinforcements here. Distracting Gumiho. But Widowmines, they blanket these tank stocks. Blank on the right side. So many Widowmines will go off into the natural. 11 probes have died. The natural is going to kick the bucket here into the main base. Gumiho will go. This army probably dies, but it's going to find so much value in the midterm. Oh, no, Trigger. He targeted out the unbuildable rocks to a gateway. Will fall. Wait, is that gateway? I think it was a tech unit actually. Will fall. The bio is dead. Trigger still, despite cleaning that up, he takes such big losses. And because there's an armory on the map, these Widowmines, they will get their second shots. Oh, that is oh no! Oh, that's even worse. Oh, that's even worse. 31 army supply to 55. Gumiho still building SCVs, and the probe count from Trigger just not where it needs to be. 17 probes have fallen. This is... I mean, part of this is the fact that Trigger's been practicing on NA, and there are just really no Terrans that are good enough on NA. Storm is on the way, but these High Templars, they're just going to have to feedback suddenly turn themselves into an Archon. Gumiho, Widowmine's in a great position. Zealots cannot move forward. And how do you engage into this behind the middle line with no Storm, with no other splash? In fact, you don't. Widowmines still finding value on those Archons. Probes continue to fall. The Immortal is dead. In fact, the Trigger's just dead in this game. Gumiho, unrelenting pressure. He stomps Trigger. Game 1 goes the way of the Korean Terran. Bottom left side of the map in the blue now for BasiliskGG. Looking again to take us to game 2, take us to game 3 to move to that finals. It's Trigger. The upper right in the gold. Up 1. Gumiho. Trigger has a little bit of a different idea on the mind. In game number 2, dropping a pylon very early. This is probably going to be for Stargate play. Let's be real. It's not the most aggressive Stargate, which is right here. This is what he did to Jason in game 1. But this is also a less common proxy location. So the Reaper is not going to check that as much. He's not going to check it quite as close. And then, well, you're kind of fine. You should be okay. There we go. Stargate is on the way. I can't imagine Gumiho is going to cut quite as many corners as Jason did. In fact, he tends to be very good about his Widowmine positioning. So Reaper is going to scout out just about nothing. It's crazy. It really is crazy seeing how these players will go, and they just know the spots that don't get scouted. And you would figure that eventually players that do the scouting would then know to scout the spots that don't get scouted. It's like kind of this arms race. This probe will go down. Second one, well, second probe actually will go down. Look at this zoning here. Good job from Trigger. He's going to be able to get there we go. Final shot gets the Reaper down. Gumiho gets a good scout. He says, okay, double gas. I think he saw the number of pylons, so he will assume, I think there's something on the back. We see him scouting north side. But he's not going to be there in time for the Oracle, even if he gets on to where that Warp Prism is, or excuse me, that Stargate is. But Widowmine 1 will be out. And where is that Widowmine? Oh, actually 2 Widowmines are out. No! We talked about how Gumiho's Widowmine positioning is so good. Well, we're seeing that happen right there. You know, it's dead. Gumiho really actually almost baiting out the shot because he, of course, had the Pro or the SCV right there building the Stargate or the Starport. And did Gumiho still not see that? No, he doesn't. But a second Widowmine, or excuse me, a second Oracle now into the natural here. This is actually going to be a couple SCVs that are available. There is no Widowmine right here, so one goes down, second one goes down. Marine are going to do what they can, but they don't do that much DPS. And Oracle gets out 3 pro. Oh. Oops. 3 probes will fall. Widowmine burrows up, but hey, there we go. Oracle gets out of range. So this second Oracle, a lot more value. Still only 4 workers, and losing that first Oracle and only getting 4, you want a little bit more. So we're going to see Trigger hang around and actually do what he can to split his opponent's attention. So double Adept. Oh, they're going to get into the main base here. Do we have any Widowmines? No, they're actually on all of the medevacs. So Marines will start to fall here. SCV's pulled off the line. Oracle diving into the natural eventually as Gumiho trying to deal with this. It's not quite synced up properly, unfortunately. This Reaper on the other side distracting Trigger just a little bit. The Adepts have fallen. Oracle not diving in until right now, and he's looking for the Widowmine, looking for the Tracer shot, but it's not really going to be there. But it runs out of energy, so it gets 1 SCV Widowmines into the main base and 4 probes. Well, 4 probes for 3 Widowmines. Not really you want 1 for 1, but that's really not all that bad. 4th Widowmine will go down, and it's going to get 7. It's going to get 3 more, and that's actually starting to become not unforgivable damage territory, but putting Trigger in a significant deficit. It looks like, did the second Oracle die? No, it got out, but Viking on the map denies the Oracle pressure really for the rest of this game. Interestingly enough, though, we see Trigger transitioning into Phoenix play. Now, going Oracle into Phoenix is not the weirdest thing. It's going Oracle into Phoenix when there's also a blink and when you proxied the Stargate. That is very weird. We're going to have to see what exactly Trigger has in store for us. This might just be a single Phoenix for maybe a little bit beefier of a scout. Okay, finally the proxy will be dealt with. So certainly now it will only be a single Phoenix. And actually it's to deal with the Widowmine drop. I kind of like that. And the Stalkers are there. Phoenix, well, Phoenix forces the Widowmine, the medevac into the Stalkers, so bit of a pincer trap there as Widowmine. Oh, well, Stalker dies. And now these Stalkers, they're going to find a bunch of bio from Trigger, or excuse me, from Gumiho moving out. But Trigger seems like he's in a much better position to hold this. His charge still not done, though. And if the tank gets a good siege to position with the Vikings as well, I mean, they're slow zealots. Stalkers on the bottom side, targeting the tank down well as quickly as they can. Tank is dead. Viking gets lifted because Vikings actually shred Stalkers. Not exactly something you want to deal with. And, well, Stim is not done here. It is just a Bioforce. So not quite as powerful as the Marines continue to fall. Stalkers having to blink back as they can. More slow zealots get warped in. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, looks like, oh, the Oracle from earlier, it dives in because he knows the Vikings are on this side. Cyclone getting what it can done. Charge done in 10 seconds. It gets 5 probes, but 7 SCVs have died, and the Oracle able to stay alive, dive out. Much better substantive damage from Trigger in the game number 2, but we do not have detection just yet. In fact, there's no Robo on the field. The Oracle has to go home, and it does not have it doesn't have energy. I don't think. It does not have a revelation, so 10 workers have gone down. This is the value that Gumiho was looking for from all the pressure, and he didn't really get it, but he's getting it here. So 11 probes have died, 12 probes have gone down, and that's going to be the end of that. But now, Trigger only up 2 workers. Trigger now Zealots, Stalkers onto the other side of the map. But Gumiho, he technically has his 3rd base, but he is very much a 2-base Terran right now as he adds on his additional tech. 1-1 on the way, adding those additional barracks. There is not a world where Trigger breaks this, by the way. Not with these 2 tanks in the high ground like this. Not with the bunker in the 3rd tank, or I guess not a bunker, but not with his defensive line in the 3rd tank. As Gumiho scans out the main, says, I kind of want to know what you're up to, Trigger. What is your tech path? He's going to see all these gateways. He's going to see, well, the Robo, but the lack of a Robo Bay. That should give him a good idea of what's happening, but this is a much better position for Trigger into this game number 2. The pressure from Gumiho did not really result in all that much. So that means Trigger can in a much easier fashion get his 4th base up. His charge is done. He's going to have Storm much easier, or even just Archons, but realistically probably going to go for Storm as well. And he's going to look for Gumiho to try to take his 3rd base. Now, even with this 3rd base being positioned that Trigger can attack into, those tanks on the high ground, they make it very, very hard. But even still, Stalkers on the low ground, putting a little bit of pressure on, and they're going to force Gumiho back. It's crazy. 2-2 gets started before Stim is done. There we go. +1 armor on the way. 2nd forge as well, so Trigger taking advantage of his newfound money. You see he's now a rich boy with his 4th base on the way to make sure that he does get double upgrades, that he gets 1-1, that his Zealots and his Stalkers are even more powerful. But for the moment, I mean, Trigger maybe had an opportunity to try to break the 3rd with the supply lead that he had. But of course, with the tanks on the high ground here, as actually Gumiho was going to run away from them, Trigger says, well, okay, actually, I'd rather tack up a little bit. So Templar Archives is done, but we do not have any Storm. Instead, Trigger, he's just going up to 10 gates. If some are good, more must be better. Stalker's going to find the bio, force the Stim backwards just a little bit. 1 Marine in the line of sight blocker, but really Stalkers should not lose too much to this. And I thought I saw a drop on the bottom side, but no, that's just the Oracle, actually. So Trigger actually runs forward, and notice his positioning here. There's a stasis trap. He's going to try to lure this army of Gumiho into it, but Gumiho says, I don't want to go over. I don't want to go around. I'd just rather go straight through, and that means the rocks will fall. Trigger getting himself set up here. Scans actually reveal nothing. And that means Trigger's going to be able to set his army up rather well. I guess no, there was a second scan. Never mind. Archons are here. Zealots. You got to be careful. Trigger does want to move part of his army around the right side. He does not want to take a straight up fight. That just does not work out all that well, but he's going to do it anyway. Zealots run forward, but there we go. The flank from the north side surrounding everything. And the tanks will fall. The bio will fall. And Trigger says, that's fine. I killed your tech. Let me back up. Let me make sure I have detection. I don't want to deal with all these widow mines. But Trigger, he's up significantly in army supply. Well, actually not as much anymore, but we just need another round of warpins. He's setting up the flank once again. Good reveal now on all the widow mines. He knows where they're going to be. The Zealots will be able to target on Stalkers are going to be able to target them down. Zealots going to maybe have a little bit better of a split scan on this fourth base position, seeing more stuff gets warped in, more Immortals. +1 attack just about done as here we go. Trigger, he's going to rotate around on the bottom side. Widow mines are going to have to burr up once again. There they go, but not all the Zealots join the fray at front. Friendly fire, maybe, no, not really. Gumiho putting himself in a bit of a corner, and actually this is a pretty good fight here from Gumiho. The widow mines got fantastic shots. Zealots distracted by the reinforcements, but it will have to be more warpins coming in from Trigger right now. Gumiho punching in though. This third base under heavy threat, but even still the bio, it's got 2-2. It's up 3 upgrades right now, but it's getting very low indeed. So Starks blink forward. Zealots run forward. Warp Prism providing a little bit of an extra blink. Scan drops the observer down, but it looks like Trigger will be able to stay alive. Starks blink forward. 1 medevac falls. Second one not going down just yet. The Marauder is going to get chased down. Yes, it will. And now Gumiho with that fourth base on the way. With that fourth base on the way. Technically, I mean, he's expanding his economy, but Trigger's already mining off of his fifth. His 2-2 is the one advantage that he does not have. Gumiho, his 2-2 is done. Trigger's only just now getting started, and he got the Templar Archive only for Archons, not for Storm. We're not really seeing much else of a tech transition here. It really is just Charizard Archon, and Zealots are going to get on top of this tank, but Mass Repair look like they're going to be good enough for now. That, and of course, the rally of Gumiho. But Trigger's on 5 bases. He's got a 6th base on the way. He is playing like a Zerg. He's playing Swarm. He is the Swarm. In this game number 2, big Zealot Warping in the main base of the. He's going to find a bit of the army in the middle of the map. I think there was an Archon that died. These Zealots, they are not easy to deal with. You got to be careful. Keep the Zealots away from the tanks. The bio of Gumiho stims and tries to knock this 5th base down. Plenty of widow mines. Once again, that was what bought Gumiho the opportunity to take the fight in the last engagement, right on that 3rd base. So it looks like Trigger will lose his 5th, but he still has the 6th. Meanwhile, Zealot shredding the main base here. I don't think it looks like the Warp Prism is dead, but dropping to the main base. Oh, this is going to force a recall here. Trigger, you got to be ready for this. And the SimCity is not going to work with him. It's going to work very much against him. The Zealots will never be able to engage. And another observer gets sniped down. Gumiho is just killing every single observer on the map right now. Zealots will run forward. Widowmine triggers an Immortal. Tags an Immortal, but Zealot's now on top of this army. 2-2 not yet done, so the bio fighting pretty damn well. And actually going to fight incredibly well here. Gumiho, 30 army supply lead, crunching right on through. Immortals fall. So many gateways already powered. So many gateways have died. And the healing is just making this army sustain. Gumiho somehow, despite the disadvantage that he found himself, the advantage that Trigger had, I think he's won this game. He's up double the army supply, and yeah, his economy is maybe not the best, but he does have mules, and that really is all that matters at the end of the day. And even more importantly, while the upgrades for Trigger are now done, he does not have the production. He's only on 7 gateways, and realistically, he's on 4 gates. He has no Robo Bay. He does not have Storm. He's got a lot of infrastructure to rebuild. Now Gumiho, the 2nd round of this army that has been forced back by the Warpins, by the drop play, is now going to move on the map, and it's 100 army supply to 47. Trigger was in a good spot. I didn't like his lack of transition, but even still felt like he could have done something. But that drop, the lack of a recall, maybe there wasn't enough energy on the base, I don't know, but the lack of a recall really caused problems. Now it's just so many Marines against a bunch of Zealots, and they just get shredded. Gumiho, he wins 2-0, although Trigger gave him a run for it. And now that means it's going to be Gumiho and Byun in the finals.